don't need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
My first question comes from Bobby. Bobby is from Nova Scotia, Sackville, to be specific. And she writes, "Hi, Betsy. I love your podcast. It's helped me in so many ways as I recently sold my home and I didn't have any one kind of style. I was able to choose neutral colors and stage my home in a way that showcased its best qualities. We are in the conditional stages of buying a new home, but because of the current housing market, our closing date may not be till the end of June. My parents are going to be moving into the basement, and we're going to put in a kitchen for them so they have their own separate space. My question is about kitchen cabinet color and how to choose the best finishes. My stepfather is a mechanic, and therefore he has made his mark, i.e., greasy fingerprints, on whatever space they live in. Originally, I thought a nice white kitchen would be the best for them, as the space is in a basement and it would make it look brighter. But my mom does not want white cabinets due to those handprints. She wants black appliances as well. We'll probably be doing an IKEA kitchen, and I thought maybe black upper cabinets with a light wood base cabinet. My stepfather never uses anything in the bottom cabinets, so they could be lighter. But my mother would prefer a dark color up top so that she doesn't have to constantly be cleaning on the daily. We're thinking quartz for the counters and a white backsplash to brighten the space. I've looked on Pinterest and I found some beautiful combinations with a light wood base and a black top, but I am asking for your advice on any other possible combinations that would work. I would like to stay with neutral colors as opposed to trendy colors, as it will probably not get updated for another 15 years. Thank you so much, Bobby." All right, well, I do have strong opinions, and I do think that IKEA has some beautiful cabinet options. I think that they would be a great place to start, but there is a company called Semi-Homemade, or it's Semi-Handmade, semihandmade.com. And they will have a large selection of cabinet fronts that fit IKEA cabinets so that you have more selection to choose from than just IKEA. Of course, that'll raise the price a little bit, but it may be worth that investment to be able to choose from a broader range of colors than the limited selection that IKEA offers. However, if we're just looking at IKEA, I do have some thoughts. I love the idea of doing a two-tone kitchen. It depends like how much is already going on in that space. If there's a lot going on, a two-tone kitchen can make it look more chaotic, especially if it's a small kitchen. It can look sort of cluttery and fractured and odd versus just looking clean and classic and simple. So I would wonder how big this kitchen is, how nice the basement is. If it's a little bit dubious down there, I would just do the kitchen in all one color. But two-tone, one-tone, I'm open. My first thought would be that a wood tone would be really nice on either the uppers, lowers, or both. But you do want to consider the flooring throughout the space. So if you're kind of thinking about the light wood from IKEA, but the flooring in an open or adjacent space is a mid or dark tone wood, then I think it's a problem and looks incongruous and not cohesive. I would consider also the flooring in the kitchen. Are you going to continue that same flooring from the living space, whether it's like a fake wood or a real wood? Are you going to continue that into the kitchen, or is there going to be a tile floor? If so, you need to think about how the tile, which ultimately touches the bottom cabinets, will look next to that. I typically don't do very dark tile or very light tile in either a kitchen or a bathroom because very dark, like black or navy, shows every piece of hair, lint, dust bunny, and every light or white color, like white or even ivory, shows, again, every stain, hairs, etc. So sticking in that mid-tone value for the floors is always a safe bet. And then coordinating the wood tone that you choose with any wood tone that may be in the space that it's open to. Then we wonder, what is that other cabinet color going to be? If we're sticking with the two-tone and we can't do white because mom says no white, which I think makes perfect sense, what are we going to do? Of course, the semi-handmade has lots of color options, but IKEA has just a few. I would steer clear of black because you've mentioned that you're going to be doing black appliances, and it's going to feel dark, heavy, and maybe even dated. IKEA has a lovely taupe color. They also have some very interesting colors that you may want to consider. They have like a beautiful silver sage, a kind of playful aqua teal. They have some grays that are quite interesting. But IKEA is very limited in terms of the style coordinating with the color because you also want to think about the style of the space. I'm just guessing that potentially your parents aren't completely contemporary because typically older people skew more transitional, and I hate to generalize, but that's just what we find here at Affordable Interior Design. Now Affordable Interior Design by Uploft, by the way. We're in the middle of that rebrand. So there's that. Even I would look at the architecture of the space. Unless the home is very, very contemporary, I would be considering, even for myself who has contemporary taste, doing something more transitional, like a shaker front, which has sort of that framing around the edge. And IKEA has lots of selections in the shaker front, which I think would be a more workable style for different styles depending on what your parents are into. Those would be my thoughts. I would pick the floor and the cabinets and the appliances before you pick the countertops. And I would make sure that the countertops have some stuff going on, some kind of patterning or veining, so that they can conceal those fingerprints and any spills and stuff like that from cooking. And I love your idea of doing a white, bright backsplash because this space is getting a little dark with those black appliances and with the darker cabinet fronts. I worry about that in any space, but certainly I worry about it in a basement. So that's my 2 cents, and I think that'll get you on the right path. All right, let's dig into my next question. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.